So welcome back. We're still here at the grandstand. We're scrutineering, and I found a very familiar face to talk to, a personality that is very well known also within, of course, the Manx rally scene, Chris Boyde. Now, I want to talk to you almost like a dummy's guide to the Pokerstars rally, because as you know, I'm not very familiar with the rally scene, and I've just been given the handbook, the Bible, and it's just talking gibberish to me. So tell me, obviously, the basics of what we're going to see over the next few days.
Well, the basics is just thrilling action. The rally comprises a series of road sections and special stages, which are the closed road sections. The times on the closed road sections are what determine the result effectively. The road sections are to get to and from the stages and back to service. They're also timed. The crews can be penalised if they're late or early on them, but really it's the time on the stages that matter. The accumulation of those over the 17 stages we've got this weekend are what will give us a result come Saturday afternoon.
Who has the most important job? Is it the driver or the co-driver?
I'm a co-driver, so I would say I've always said with any driver that gets in the car with me, I'm the boss, you're getting into my office. You do it my way or I get out of the car.
I like that. Very dominant, very dominant. Obviously,
it works well.
It's a night rally that's happening really tomorrow evening, because obviously it's going to be dark as such. I mean, obviously not going through the night. Will they be wearing like little torches on their heads to have a look at the handbooks? I mean, how do they see it?
The co-drivers will have map lights because they need to read the pace notes still on the stages. The times on the darkness are marginally slower than they would be in daylight, but you're only talking maybe over a 7-mile stage, you're talking 2 or 3 seconds slower in darkness than the daylight. That's how committed they are in the darkness. And the co-drivers will have map lights in the car. They'll have spare map lights, a lot of them in the car, because you don't want one going mid-stage and suddenly your driver's doing 100 miles an hour and you've got nothing in front of you to call the pace notes to direct him down the stage. So there'll be multiple lights going on. Some of them might wear hat lights. A lot of them have inbuilt map lights into the car itself and hanging off the roll cages and things to point down over the time cards on the pace notes.
So if you just joined us, we're here still at the grandstand, and it's a little bit dark because obviously it is quite dark as an area. We don't get too much in the way of the scrutineering here. I'm here with Chris Boyde. Chris Boyde is a commentator for Manx Radio, but also very well known within the Manx rally scene. It's quite an exciting rally, this, isn't there? It's a really high entry list. I mean, you just had a chat earlier on with Michael Dunlop. How's he feeling?
He's in great form. He's been winding his co-driver Rob Fagg up no end, because Rob won the Manx National Rally here with a guy called Hugh Hunter from North Wales, and so they felt they should come and have a go at Rally Isle of Man. Michael also wanted to do Rally Isle of Man straight after the Classic TT. I found Rob suddenly wasn't available, and Rob is his regular co-driver. They did the Ulster and unfortunately crashed out in August after the Ulster Grand Prix and before the Classic TT. So Michael's just going bounce, 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 event. So he was winding Rob up no end about apparently walking out on him for Rally Isle of Man in one event. So he's got him back in this weekend.
What are you expecting from him?
I think he'll go well. He crashed out at this event last year. He was lying 4th or 5th at the time when he crashed out. It was quite a high-speed shunt up at Andreas that he had. He'll go well at darkness tomorrow night. He goes really well on the technical stuff, which is surprising, really. You'd think Michael maybe would be more bullish and be...
Speed.
Yeah, absolutely, the speed section. But you put a technical stage in, Michael tends to go really, really well. And a lot of that comes from Rob. Rob has co-driven around the world. He's former Canadian champion, former Chinese champion with Martin Rowe, another Manx driver from here. He's got vast experience, and he can bring that out. Michael doesn't like to do too much of a recce because he wants to listen to Rob on the notes and trust what Rob's telling him on the notes. Rob's one of the best pace note callers in the British Isles, and so that combination comes out brilliantly when you get the technical stages. All the crews are saying how technical this route is, so it should really suit Michael, although the calibre of the entry is a whole step up probably from what Michael's been in against before.
And that's all because of the Isle of Mull really was cancelled, so we've got the top riders over top riders. I've got to stop saying riders, the top drivers over here.
Yeah, no, we have. It's brought a lot of them down. We've got a really interesting dichotomy. Somebody like Dan Harper, who's a former Mull rally winner from way back in the early 2000s, but is also the reigning Manx champion, so he's got the knowledge of both. Somebody like Paul Bird has never been to Mull, but he's here. Then
he's back.
He's back off his ban, and he's in full of form off winning the BSB. He's happy as can be. And then you've got Aaron Newby, whose car's just gone through scrutineering. Aaron won the 50th anniversary Manx International Rally, and he's a 2-time Manx Rally champion as well in the Tech Sports Subaru that Mark Higgins used to drive. He's got Rory Kennedy, one of the legendary co-drivers, in the car with him this weekend. Because Rob Fagg isn't available, Rob also normally co-drives for Aaron. Rob's very in demand. So he's got Rory Kennedy, who was a co-driver from a famous Irish driver like Bertie Fisher in the past. Rory's got all the knowledge, and Mark Higgins, and so all the way through. And so you put all of this entry together, then they've got all the knowledge of the Manx roads. Then you throw in the Mullites, people like Paul McKinnon, who came a couple of years ago and on his first ever run here finished 2nd overall. James McGilvery, who's a former Mull Rally winner. And then Callum Duffy, who we're really looking for, who starts back at about number 12, but I think he's a 9 times more rally winner. We've been waiting for years to get Callum to the Isle of Man. We just can't wait to see how he goes over here.
You're looking forward more to Friday or Saturday?
I love the night stages. I'm an old road rally co-driver, which is all done at night time. We run 8 of those events here a year on Saturday nights, and so map reading in darkness, that's the challenge. That's what it's all about.
And it's good to see some girls are out there as well, of course.
Oh yeah, plenty of ladies in there as well, and lots of ladies in the organising side of the event as well. And yeah, I mean, there used to be awards for best lady crew and best lady co-driver. Obviously, that's all deemed sexist these days. You can't have it. So
be careful now. Be careful.
Well, yeah, we might have to resign.
And don't start touching me. I can't be doing with that.
But yeah, no, we want to encourage as much lady participation as we can. You can see in the scrutineering bay, a couple of the scrutineers are ladies, which is fabulous to see. It's freezing in there.
And not just doing the paperwork either.
No, they're in the cars, they're doing the checks. You, I think, had a look through what the checks were going on. There are loads of checks go through these cars to make sure they are safe and suitable to be out there on the stages doing the speeds they're doing.
They do a great job. We just actually had a chat there with Jeff Doe, obviously, that's very well scrutineering, not just obviously with the cars, but bikes too as well. So
yeah, Jeff's about as experienced as they come. Jeff's the chief scrutineer for a lot of events up and down the country. He was doing an event this morning called the Rally of the Test that happens in the UK. He's got to go across when he finishes here to do another event on Sunday scrutineering.
Over to Africa.
He's just in demand the whole time. There is no more experienced scrutineer than Jeff.
Okay, so how can we get people to really support this and get out there and spectate?
Spectating is easy. Just get yourself on the Manx Autosport website and download the stage maps on the competitor downloads. You can even get the competitor's road book. It won't mean much to you, as you've discovered, Joe, but you can get the competitor's guide, which has all of the stage maps in there. Or tomorrow night, for those that know Brandywell Cottage, head to Brandywell Cottage. You will see the dazzling array of all these lights at minute intervals coming up over Druidale into you at the cottage, in round the triangle, hairpin left, hairpin right, and away from it. And you will hear the acceleration to the point where they get on the rev limiter. They're pulling that bigger speed on the run from Brandywell Cottage down to Sartfield. You are a little bit stuck out of the loop if you want to follow the rally round if you're at Brandywell Cottage. So if you're wanting to follow the rally on from there, the better place to go might be Sartfield Hairpin above the old Sartfield Cafe, where they will be carrying an enormous amount of speed coming into you, trying to brake, get all that speed knocked off in order to handbrake left away from you. It will be spectacular. It'll need a long run off because they'll be carrying a huge amount of speed. But from there, you can easily get to the other stages, which are at Snuff the Wind above South Barrule. If you head towards 8 Man and just keep going up the hill.
Did you just say Snuff the Wind?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I'm Manx. I've never heard of that place before. I love it.
Snuff the Wind is at the top of Slowellian, Glen Needles, as it's known. So if you go
near where I live.
Yeah, there you go. If you go to 8 Man and you keep going up the hill, you will come to the Shoulder Road Junction, as it's called. There's 2 stages happening there. They come up out of St John's, up the old road out of St John's, Glen Needle. First time they turn right and go over the Gary to drop down into Glen May. They come straight back round to the start line and go and do another stage that turns left at the top off Glen Needle.
Are you keeping up? Are you keeping up?
And heads out to Round Table, which is really, really quick roads on the run out to Round Table, and then drops down to Dalby again, very, very fast. So there's 2 chances to see them there back to back, so that's a good spot to get to. The final stage of the loop is out just north of Peel, Brackabroom and Starvey, which again is notorious rally routes. Brackabroom is very tight and twisty, very technical. Then you get onto the really fast and flowing switchback and Starvey, bouncy, jumpy. Caught lots of people out. Hopefully they won't catch anyone out tomorrow night.
So exciting. I mean, obviously the enthusiasm, and I can see the passion coming through your voice. You are so looking forward to this weekend. We're looking up on numbers now with marshals as well, aren't we, Chris?
I'm hoping so. I'm going to go and have a word on Mark Ellison in just a few minutes and try and get an update. But if you want to come out, there's still plenty of space. Please come and help if you can, because the entry are here. They're all buzzing. We're buzzing. We want to get this rally up and running and run the whole event.
Certainly do. We heard it from Chris, so make sure that you do come and sign on if you've got any more time left this evening. And I'm sure if you call Mark Ellison, the number is on the Facebook page that I did the interview with Mark Ellison yesterday. If you want his number, it's on there. Do make sure that you get down here and sign on, though. They're going to be here until at least 8:30, and I'm sure they're going to be here until later, just to make sure that we get some more signing on. So talking about marshals, look who I just happened to have, Chris, standing in my background. It's an Orange Army. Look, thanks to Chris Boyde. Really appreciate your time there. It's fantastic to have you here. Thank you, Chris. We'll be catching up with Chris as well during the day on Saturday. Just checking with Stephen to make sure everything is okay. Oh, we just look as if we're losing a little bit of light, so perhaps if we can just move around slightly, just yeah, let's have a look and see if we can move in. Okay. need to talk to the important people, of course, which is the Orange Army. We've got a couple of people here who I have nominated